Okay, so yesterday we just discussed about some web table methods, right? How to get the data from a web table, then how to use get row with cell text. What is the use of get row with cell text, and how to count how many times sorry, how to find how many times a value has been repeated or not, right? So these are the things we discussed yesterday. Today we'll discuss about other things like say now yesterday what exactly we did is here we have taken this, forget about this logic. This logic we have used dog here, so take this out and just take this logic. When you take this logic here, see, when we are using get row with cell text, we are hard coding the column number here, right? Get cell data. Row number we are getting automatically, okay, to get the data. So we are going to particular row based on where that employee is there. So by using get row with cell text, row number is being automatically retrieving. But when you look at this, column number is hard coded. Okay, why it have given 6? What was our requirement exactly here? We wanted to retrieve the status of the employee. Okay, so now take the employee here, column, we have to retrieve the appraisal status, right? The 6 meant the column number for appraisal status here. Okay, column number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's what 6 meant for. What is meant by 1 here? What is meant by 1?
Starting row.
Yeah, so no, not starting row. Get row with cell text. 1 means for column number. So that means search for this employee under first column. Why under first column? Because employee name is first column here. Okay. So row number we are not hard coding. Row number we are getting automatically, but we are hard coding the column number. We are hard coding the column number. So when we hard code the column number, what happens is, okay, if the column numbers are not changing, the columns are same, then fine. But sometimes in certain situations what happens is column numbers also may get changed. Now the appraisal status is in 6th column. But tomorrow what they do is they may add like this. Okay, employee name from to due date, appraiser name and description and appraisal status. That means one more column is added in between. Just assume like that. Then if one more column is added, what happens? Again, the column number will be changed. Instead of 6 here, then this column number will be changed to 7. Or they may remove this description here. In this, they may remove this description. We may get like this: employee name from to due date and appraisal status. So column number will be 5 or maybe 3. So column number also may be changing. So yesterday we have seen if the column number is changing or if number of times a data is repeated, how to get the row number and all, we have seen yesterday. But now if the column number also changing, then what should we do? So we don't have any method like get column with cell text. We have get row with cell text. We retrieve the row number based on the text, but we cannot retrieve the column number based on the text. Get column with cell text, we don't have any method like that. But what should we do now here? What we need to do is, okay, we have to write our own logic. Instead of depending on the inbuilt method, so we have to write our own logic here to get the column number based on the column header. The logic goes like this. First you have to get the column count, the total number of columns available. Okay, first you have to get column count, how many columns are there, and loop through first column to last column and retrieve the data from first row, from each column. First row, why first row? Because column headers. Okay, I need to get the column headers. Why column headers? Because I need to get the column number based on the header. So get one by one column header and compare that column header with your expected name. If any header is matching with your expected column name, then take the number. That's the logic here. Okay, so now if you want to implement that logic, so what is the first thing that you need to do? Let me comment out this code. Sorry. comment out this code and then come to the home. This is the table anyway. So first point is in our logic, we have to get the total number of columns, how many are there. Then how do we get the total number of columns in a table? Column count. Total columns equals to O table, whatever the table that we have created, table dot say column count. But column count is not an individual method here. So that means that, okay, you cannot directly write column count here. There is an input mandatory for the column count. Input for column count method is row number. Input for column count is row number. So from which row you want to retrieve the column count. The reason why you have to provide the row number is why they have given that input. You cannot directly get the when you see Excel and all, we directly got the column count. But in table, why they have given? The reason because, sometimes in certain web tables, what happens is column count may vary from row to row. In first row, there might be 20 columns. In second row, there could be 18 columns only. And in third row, again, it could be 20 columns, something like that. That means column count may vary from row to row. That's how we can structure the web table. Depends on number of tags, number of elements that you use inside the table element, then it will create this many cells inside TR element. So that is the reason, since column count may vary, then they have given the row. But most of the times column count will be common across all the rows. So if you want to get the column headers, then you have to get the column count first in first row. Next, first row stands for column headers here. Then for I equals to 1 to total columns. For I equals to 1 to total columns. Then you can say str column header equals to O table dot get cell data of 1 comma I. 1 comma I. That means row number is 1, but column number will be increasing. First time I value will be starting with 1, 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4. If there are 10 columns, till 1 comma 1 to 1 comma 10, it will execute. So it will get 1 by 1 column header here. Then you can say, if you want to get the appraisal status, then you can say str column header equal to appraisal status. This is the same header, it is displayed here. See, it's not it's identifying it as an object. First let us look at the so let's log out from the application, see the add-ins we have selected or not. We have selected, but Visual Basic add-in and all will not require to select. Still that is okay. Let me re-log into the application. Now it is being identified. So the reason could be application might have opened first. Okay, before the tool, we might have opened the application first. So in such cases, it will not identify. That's what happened exactly. Let's see now whether it identifies this time or not. Now it is identified. So it's an appraisal status. So if the column header whatever you retrieve is a appraisal status, then you can say int column number equal to I. Exit for. as soon as you get that your column, then you can stop the loop. Then the default value of int column number you can give as 0. Okay. Then message box int column number. Then let me get the script executed and see what happens, whether it will retrieve the column number or not. Yeah, it's 6th column. So it is retrieving the column number here. What exactly we have done? First we got the column count of first row, looping from first column to last column, getting the data from one by one column in the first row. We are comparing that with expected column. If we give some other column name here, say evaluator status, or if you take actions. And it is in 8th column. So when you provide the column header, then it will give the column number automatically. Then if you give something like some other column, maybe appraiser, but this column does not exist, right? Then what it should return? What is the default value of int column number? 0. So it returns the default value. So it says 0, right? Then your validation will be like this: if int column number equals to 0, then for now I am using just reported.report event makefile. Then you store your expected column name into one variable, expected column name equal to this. Okay, so write the report saying that get the column number for this. Okay, column not found. Else just to display message box into column number. That's it. Now, so this much logic you need to write to get the column number. Now this is for one column, but if you want for multiple columns, I mean, see, now I may need to deal with multiple columns here. One place, first I need to understand where that employee name is there, and I need to search for the employee under this column. Then I may need to retrieve the appraisal status. Again I need to get the column number for this. Again I need to get the due date. So again I need to get the column number for this. So, and I may need to take an action. So again I need to get the column number for this. So I need to get the column number for different columns. Then I have to write the same logic every time. How many lines of code it is? Nearly 15 to 16 lines of code that I need to write to get the column number. But instead of doing that, what you can do is convert this as a function. Function get column number. Function name is get column number, and arguments will be webtable, and second argument would be expected column name. So two arguments for this function, and function should return the value of the column number. So you can say this is how you pass the return value. And when you are comparing here, don't compare directly because user may pass it in a different case. So always do like this. First trim it and then convert into standard case. Then you can say uCase trim done. So this is the function to get the column number. So what that function does, first it takes the table reference and it takes the expected column name. Then inside that, whatever the table that you have passed, from that table it gets the column count, total number of columns, and then it what it will do, so it will get the total number of columns, loop through first column to last column, get the column header from first row, and then compares that column with the expected column name, whatever you are passing as a function argument. If any of the column is matching, then it will take that number. If no column is matching, then it will write a fail statement saying that that column does not exist. Okay, then if the column does not exist, I may not be able to continue. Then you can say exit run. Exit run is a statement to stop the execution. Okay, now whenever you want to get the column number, so what you can do, keep this function, maybe you can keep this column in a library. I will create one function library here, and I'll keep this in E drive, and maybe I will keep it as I will create a folder called function libraries, and then under function libraries I will keep this as a for web event functions I will create. Okay, dot VBS, that means all web related functions dot VBS. Now keep this function here. Then what you have to do next, you have to associate the library. That I have created library, right? Function library. You must have to associate that function library, then only you will be able to use the functions. How do you associate that library? Go to file, go to settings, resources, and then select that function and then say apply. Okay, that's it. So now that function will be available. Now if you want to see whether function is available or not, how do you check? Go to view and look at the toolbox. When you look at the toolbox, if that function is displayed, that means that function is available. If that function is not displayed here, that means that function is not, you cannot use that function. Okay, but when you associate the function library, then it will automatically display here list of all the functions whatever are there in the library and all. Okay, now if you want to get the column number for what? First, okay, you have to get for employee name. Then what you can do is int column for employee name, employee name equals to what you can say, get column number of table is O table here, or if you give a different name, you can also say like this, O EMP table. If you specify that, then same thing you provide here. Instead of O table, you give as O EMP table, comma, column name is nothing but employee name you give. Now this will return, it will take this column, it will take this table, it will search for this column in this table, and then it returns the number. Now let's see how exactly it will return. Run it. It should return as 1. Next, if you want to get the column name for appraisal status, same you can use column number for appraisal status. You will give as AS. Then you can say get column number from OEMP table, comma, appraisal status. Then if you display this, then it should return as 6. So now you don't need to write the same logic again and again. So we have created the function. So what that function does, it takes this table inside and it takes this column. It will search for this column in this table and then returns a column number. So like this you have to create the functions, required functions. Okay. So that's how you get the column number automatically. Okay. So to get the row number, you have two ways. One is use get row with cell text, or second one is get the row count first row to last row you loop it, retrieve the data from one by one row from specific column. If the data is matching with your expected data, take that row number that we have seen yesterday. But here, to get the column count, then what do we do? Get the column count, loop from first column to last column, then get the data from first row of each column, then match with that. Okay, fine. Okay, so now what we do next? This is how we retrieve the data from the table. Okay, all these methods we use. But we'll just move to the next part now. What I have to do is, my requirement is, when I provide the employee name here, okay, so for the employee Linda Anderson, there are multiple. So whose status is description? Okay, so if Linda Anderson's status is first review, then you have to take the action, say manage. Okay, if Linda Anderson's status is quarterly review, then you have to select view here, something, whatever it is, action. Now what you have to do is, okay, there is a web list here. For each employee, there is select web list has been displayed, and from this web list I need to take appropriate action. Got what I am saying? Then, now all these list boxes, where these list boxes have been placed inside the table, and for each employee, one list box has been placed. But properties might be very similar to all. The same properties might be there for every employee here. All the list box, for every list box, properties might be same. But when I say Linda Anderson here, how can you select the list box, or how can you go to the list box which is related to that employee? Then the simple logic here, whenever you need to deal like that, then understand in which row that employee is there, and then understand in which column that list box has been placed. Then instead of directly using the properties to retrieve that list box, instead of using the properties, what you do is go to that particular row and column and retrieve the list box which is there in that particular row number and column number. Now if you want to retrieve the list box for this employee, then this employee where he is, this employee is in second row. So go to the second row and go to the 8th column. Actions is in 8th column. Then go to the second row and 8th column, get the list box which is placed in that cell. Or if you want to retrieve the employee for, list box for this employee, then go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to 5th row and 8th column, retrieve the list box from it. If it is list box, retrieve the list. If it is link or different objects might be there. Okay, we'll see that again. Got what I am saying here? Then how do you get the object? So far we are getting the data by using get cell data. What do? We retrieve the text. If the text is displayed inside a cell, by using get cell data you can get that. But now this time it's not the cell, it's not the text in that cell, it is object. There is some object displayed in the cell. Then how do we retrieve that object? Then this is where the method called childitem we use. There is one method called childitem. So to get the text from a cell we use get cell data, but to retrieve the object from a cell we use something called childitem. Okay, then let's see how exactly we use this. What I have to do is, now just I will go to the first Linda Anderson, maybe the second row. I need to select the action as manage for the first employee. Then what I will do is, here first get the column number where that action is. Int column number for action equal to say actions. So now what it will do exactly? It will retrieve the column number for actions. Next what I will do is, int row number will be emp table dot get row with cell text of str employee name. list your employee name you give us. So it will give the row number here. So I got the row number and column number. Then next what I'll do is to select the value from this web list. First understand what class of object it belongs to. It is a web list here. You don't need to worry about the properties here. You don't need to worry about properties because we are not identifying that web list by properties this time. We are identifying that web list by row number and column number because those web lists are placed inside the table. So I will now I got in which row which column it is. Then I will go to that particular row and column. Then I will get the web list. But only thing is class is important because sometimes it could be link or sometimes different types of objects might be there. So depends on the class that you will get. Okay, now set O list box. You just set O list box equals to OEMP table dot method name is childitem. So childitem method is used to retrieve the object by using class and cell address. Childitem of row number is this row number. In this row I need comma column number. In which column I need to get, that is under actions column, so that I am giving the column number of action. Third input is MIC class. Class is here what class of object it is? Web list. Comma index number. So now index number is not like index number in all the objects. Index number will work within this cell, only within this cell. If there are two web lists in that cell only, not in that table. Remember, index number here not in entire table, only in that particular cell. If two list boxes are there, then if you want to select first list box, you give the index number as 0. If you want to work with the second list box in that cell, you give the index number as 1. Now let's take a simple example here. Okay, I have a cell. Okay, I have a cell. Let me take one example here. Login.salesforce.com. Okay, so let me log in with my ID. Let us see the example for it. Verify your identity. So we have to log in again. Okay, so I said this index number whatever we use here within the cell, right? Okay, so if you take this application, let's understand how this index works exactly. Okay, this is action field here, sorry, action column we have, right? I want to click on edit link. I want to click on edit link. If you look at that, for every item here, then every order there is an edit delete almost. Okay, so if you want to click edit link for this particular order, then what you have to do, go to this cell, maybe in which row it is, 1 2 3 4 5 6, it is 6th row. Go to 6th row and second column. Okay, first column contains checkbox, second column, and you have to click on the edit link in the 6th row, second column. Now if you say the script will be like this. First you need to retrieve the link from it. Set O link equals to so-and-so table dot child item of 6 comma, row number is 6 and second column comma 2. What kind of object it is? Link, comma, then this is the first link, right? Edit link is the first link here. Index 0 you provide. Then it will take the edit link here. Okay? But if you want to click on delete link, same it is, child item of 6 comma 2, 6th row, second column, comma, link, comma, 1. Okay, so index number 1 you need to provide. So if you give 0, it will get the first link. If you give 1, it will give the second link, but within that same cell. If you give the index 2, then it will throw the error, object required, because third link is not available in this, right? Okay, so it will not, that index number whatever you give inside child item, that index number is not applicable for entire table. That index number is applicable only for this particular cell, whatever the cell address that you provide here. So now here in this, we have only one web list in each cell. There is no second web list. So that you can directly provide 0. You can directly provide 0 here. That means first web list it is. Then what you can do now is olistbox dot, if you want to highlight that, you say highlight. Now what I am doing is I am going to second row, 8th column, then I am getting the web list from second row, 8th column, and then I am highlighting it. Let's see how it works exactly, whether it works or not. It is highlighting it. Then if I provide row number as 5, it should go to the 5th row and 8th column here. This is 8th column because we are getting the column number for actions. Then it should highlight the web list which is in 5th row of 8th column. This one it will be. Now if you run this, okay, it's highlighted. Now if you want to select the value from it, then you can say olistbox dot select. Then what is the action that you need to take? Manage. I have given 5th row, right? So you have to select manage from this. Let's see how it works. Manage is selected, but it's logged out because of timeout issue and all, so it came logged out. But you can see that manage was selected. So that is how you deal with the object inside the cell. Okay, so now there are a lot of interview questions related to this. One of the question is like this: I have certain employees. Okay, table is there in the application. Table is there, and in one application there are 4 columns total. One is the employee ID, second one is employee name, and third one is select, take action, delete or edit is there, and select employee. Checkbox will be there in that column. Now I will give you the employee ID, but I don't know where that employee is there. But I will give you the employee ID. Then wherever that employee is there, for that employee it should click on delete link. All the delete links are having same properties. Then how do you do that? Then what we do, first we will understand where that employee ID is there, in which row that employee ID is there. And then we will understand where that column, under which column those links have been displayed. Then now what we do is we use child item property, child item method. So the table dot child item of that row number where that employee is there, comma, column number where that action column is there, comma, link, it is a link, comma, then depends on the link where that is placed. First edit link and second delete link. 2 links are placed like this. If you want to click on delete link, that is the second link there. Give us index number 1. Okay. Now let us take some simple example, another example. This time let me develop one table for you. Okay. To understand this child item, how exactly it works. We'll develop a page quickly, a sample web page. Okay, so that is in different laptop. So quickly we'll do that. It won't take too much of time. So just let me say HTML and let me say header and then let me say title and then sample I'll just give and then I'll say title here and then say header. Okay, so I don't create too many rows and all here, just I will give only one row. Then you say table, you give the width as 100%, then you give the border as 2, then you can give cell spacing equal to 2. Okay, so this is only the basic. Then give tr, you create a row, then you give td, then you give width is maybe 25%, you give us 25%, comma, okay, that is what, no. Employee name is a column name here, and you can close. So this is emp id, then action, then select. You close the row and you close the body and table. Close the body, you close the table. Similarly, you have to close the HTML as well. And save this. We need to create one more row. I'll just come back to that again. Let me save this in D-drive and then I'll save it in function like this folder. I'll say sample.html, all files, save it. Why only 2 columns are there? empid, select. Sorry. Okay, so columns are there. That's okay, fine. Then now what I do is it should be with 100%. Okay, so one more row that I will create now. One more row, I'll just quickly give, table is not required. Employee name, I'll say test engineer, some name that I am giving. Employee ID is, I'll say TE, some employee ID I will give. And when you say action here, so under action I need to get two or three links I will get. Say now, how do you create the link? A, then I will give href as http, any URL that you can give, something that I will give google.com, okay, then we'll say editor, A, okay, and then this, give one more time here, one more link that you create. So another link is this time I'll say outlook.com, then I will give delete link, okay, then here you give as input tag you create inside that, then type you give as checkbox, so that a checkbox object will be created. Then if you highlight this, okay, so you can see two links have come here, but why checkbox was not come? That's all, one checkbox has come here. Okay, so now let's take this table for our reference. Okay, so let's take this table as our reference here. I will hard code the row number and column number, so I don't use that logic or anything, because this is to understand only how to use how to deal with child item. Okay, so what I will do is I will just add the object to the repository. The table I will add to the repository. Okay, so it is there in a different table. That's okay. Yes, taking now. Dot page sample, right? Dot webtable employee name. That's okay. Now what I have to do is I need to click on delete link. When you click on delete link, then it should navigate to the outlook.com, right? When you click on edit link, then it should navigate to google.com. Okay, just I have given here. So that's just our base. That's it. Okay, so what I will do now is set olink equals to OEMP table dot child item of, I'll say it is there in second row. First row is for column header, it is there in third column. Those are there in third column, comma, what kind of object that I need to deal with? Link, comma, if I give 1, what will happen? It will click on second link in that cell. Second link is nothing but delete. So first link is edit, second link is delete here. So index number 0 means first link, index number 1 means second link. Then let's see if I run this, olink dot highlight, if I give highlight, then what object will be highlighted here? It must be delete link, because I have given the index number as 1. You can see that delete link has been highlighted. If I give 0, it will identify, it will highlight edit link. But now my requirement is I need to click on delete link. So I can say olink dot click here. So it will click on delete link. But certain situations what happens is, okay, so let me come here, and then what I will do is I will change this. Now come here, and then now what happened is first link is delete, now second link is edit. Earlier delete link was second link, so that I have given the index as 1 here, so that it was giving highlighting second link. But now the index position has been changed. Okay, but still I have to click on delete link only. What should I do now? Again I have to come here, give this as 0, so that it will highlight first link again, and then you can use click method there. But you know, certain situations this happens, the object position might be changing. They may introduce one object, sometimes they may give 2 objects or 3 objects like this. Object position is keep changing, then hard coding the index number is not a good idea in this case. And whenever that changes, again now I have given 0, later again they may change to edit first and then delete second. Then again I need to come here and then I need to update the index number. Then what should we do in this case? Without hard coding the index number, but index number is mandatory. You must have to give index number to work with the object, because you are not giving any other properties. You must have to give index number, but we saw that index number is keep changing. Then in this case what you do is, instead of directly providing the index number there, First you need to understand where the delete link is there. Is it a first link or is it a second link? Or edit link, is it a first link or is it a second link? Then how do you understand that? There is some logic that you need to write down. Logic should be like this. First understand how many links are there in the cell. In that cell, how many links are there? Get the count of the links. Then loop from 0 to the total count. Okay. Then get one by one link. First get the 0, that means first link. Get the second link, like that, one by one. Then get the text of the link. Text is nothing but whatever displayed on that link. Get the text of that link. Then if the text is edit, you click on it. If you want to click on edit link. If the text is delete, then if you want to click on delete link, you click on it. Okay. So if 0 itself found the with the delete link, matched with the delete link, it will click on first one. If 0 not 0, then it will move to the first. If the second link is delete, then it will click on delete link. Got what I am saying here? Logic will be like this. First understand how many links are there. Not if here we are dealing with only links, but it may not be links all the time. Maybe it will be edit field or it may be some other objects, anything, whatever it is. First understand how many objects are there, then loop through first object to last object, get one by one object, and then get some property value and then validate. If that property value is matching with your expected, that is the object that you are looking for. Then you deal with that. Then how do we do that? The first question here is, how do we get how many objects, how many links are there in that particular cell, or how many web edits, or how many list boxes, whatever it is. How do we do that? Instead of using child item, you say total links equals to webtable dot childitem count this time, not child item, it should be childitem count. Childitem count is used to retrieve total number of objects, how many objects are there with a particular class. Okay, particular class. Then you can say childitem count of row number is 2, comma column number is 3, comma what kind of object that you want, say link. Then message box total links. Then total 2 links are there. Now if you want to get one by one link here, you say for I equals to 0 to total links minus 1, take this and paste here and comment this, and instead of 0 here pass I. So first time I value will be 0, it takes the first object. Second time I value will be 1, it will take the second object. So 2 are there. You can see first time first link and then second link also highlighted. Then what you can do is, if you want to click on edit link only, then str link text equals to o link dot get row property. We know what is meant by get row property. Not inner text. It is text. For web element inner text, but when you are using DOM, use inner text. Okay, when you are using normal get row property, it will be text property only. Then message box str link text. Del edit. So now use that. If str link text equals to del o link dot click exit for, you have to come out of the loop so that it will not go to the next one. So in case if the position object position is changing within the cell without hard coding the index number here, you can use this logic. So child item count is used to retrieve how many objects are there with a particular class in a cell. Okay, so these are the methods that we use for a web table. This is how we use child item. This is how we use child item count, get row with cell text, column count. And we also seen child objects. How do we use yesterday? If you see that child objects did not retrieve the data from particular cell yesterday. So it was retrieved data from all the cells. So we used child objects for retrieving the elements with a particular inner text. right? So child objects is used to retrieve the collection of objects from any parent. If it is a parent is web table, it will not deal with one cell, particular cell. It will deal with all the cells of the web table. If it is child item is particular cell only with particular class of object. Child item count means particular cell again, but not to retrieve the object, to get the count of the objects. Get cell data is used to retrieve the data from particular cell, only text, not the object. Then get row with cell text means to understand the row number, in which row the text is found. Column count and row count are for retrieving the row count and column count. How many columns are there, how many rows are there. So these are some methods we use for web table. Okay, so when you use table checkpoint, then table checkpoint will not do all these things. It will validate only the data. You remain hardcore the column number and the row number. If the row numbers is changing, column number is keep changing, then it will not work. Alternatively, you can use this kind of scripting, all these methods. Very important these are. Okay, clear? This web table methods. Then we'll stop here today, and then tomorrow we will see the remaining checkpoints quickly. Okay.